Hello and welcome to the Garden Shop How to Garden video. We want to show you in this video how to sow swede seeds. So we're just going to show you the soil we have here. We prepared it about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We dug it over well, digging it down to a depth of 1.5 feet. So now we'll just show you the process involved in preparing your drill. So we already have a row of seeds sown here, which is marked with our string line. Now we're going to sow Swedes which grow quite large, and you should space your rows about 30 centimeters apart. So I'm just going to move my string line. In fact, in this case I'm just going to move it 25 centimeters over, because we just have parsnips growing in the previous row. But all Swede rows should be spaced 30 centimeters apart after that. Okay, so roughly speaking that's about 25 centimeters there. So to prepare your drill, you can use a garden hoe. Okay, so you just want to go down about 2 inches with your drill. I'm sorry, 2 centimeters. Now the time to sow your Swedes, ideally you want to sow them around springtime, in the middle of spring. Middle of March is ideal. You want to avoid frost, so make sure that the worst of the frost is passed before you sow your seeds. Okay, so your drill there should be about 2 centimeters deep. Keep it nice and straight. And now we'll just sow our seeds. So I'll just take my seeds out here. What we want to do is sow the seeds thinly along the row. So by that, what I mean by thinly, just take a handful of them here, or a small handful. What I mean by thinly is that you will just sprinkle the seedlings roughly 1 to 2 centimeters apart along the row. So just get them all into the center of your hand. You can see them there. Okay. Alright, so what we'll do then is I'll just come down here and just sprinkle them along. Keep your row nice and straight, therefore you can easily weed in between the seedlings when they emerge. And they're going in roughly about 1 centimeter apart. Space them out more if you want. And we'll come back later once the seedlings have emerged. We'll thin them to about 25 to 30 centimeters apart. Swedes grow quite large compared to turnips. They take longer in the ground, they take longer to mature, and they need further spacing apart. So I have some left over, I'll just return it to the packet. Regarding the soil, Swedes like a good fertile soil, and the soil that we have here has some farmyard manure, well-rotted farmyard manure added to it, and it has been dug to a depth of about 1.5 feet. So that's the row sown there now. The next thing we want to do is to close the drill, and we can do that using a rake that we have here. Okay. So Swedes are something that you can harvest into the winter months. Again, like parsnips and turnips, they benefit from a little touch of frost before harvesting, as they get a better flavour from the effects of frost. They're less, more tender really. So the frost helps the flavour of your crop. So I'm just going to pat down the row. Good contact there between the seed and the soil. In terms of pest control, you just want to watch out for pests such as slugs and pigeons, as they can eat the foliage of the crop. Now I just want to give it a light watering in. So even if the soil is a bit damp like it is today, there's no harm in just giving your row a good watering in. So we're just running the hoe up and down it there. And now that it's watered, it can start to germinate. You should see the seedlings germinating within 2 weeks' time. Now if you were to sow another row, you will move your string line about 1 foot over, and then keep your rows nice and straight again. We would sow our next row of Swedes about there. But before we go and do that, you just want to take a label and just mark up the row that you've sown, so that you know what's there. But that's it now. That was just a video on how to sow your Swede seeds from thegardenshop.ie.